I've been fortunate enough to see almost every avenue of car culture around the world. But then, just when I thought I'd seen everything, I see one more thing that surprises me. And what's been phenomenal over the past 3 years is that slowly but surely, I've been asking certain groups of people like, hey, I really want to see the Donk community. And if you don't know what the Donk community is, it's the big wheeled cars and basically going all in on paint jobs, interiors, all that kind of stuff, because it's just something I wasn't familiar with. And it wasn't my scene growing up. And so going out to Las Vegas 2 times a year, it just slowly was one of those things. I would see them driving down the road, and then lowriders as well. So I was like, oh man, I should definitely do a special about lowriders. Well, come to find out, my tuner, Mikey, who tunes my 2JZ240SX, he's like, hey, I've got the guy. You've got to meet him. His name's TJ, and he's a really stand-up dude, and you're going to have an amazing time. So I fly in. It's SEMA time. I go to SEMA all day. You walk your 15,000, 20,000 steps. And then I get a phone call going, hey, now's the time. Come see TJ's car. I've been to Vegas a million times, but I go to a certain part of town I've never been to before. And we get there, we get to the shop, we walk in, and then there's TJ. He's got this beautiful, beautiful old car on big, giant gold wheels. But to my surprise, twin turbo LS, zillion horsepower, right? And I start asking him going, how do you even put this down? And he says, oh, well, we have our ways, but I'm not going to say all of them, but we have our ways. And he then showed me some of their ways, which was really neat, and got to know him a little bit. And then he pulls the car out, does this massive pull going down the street, and it's got a Tremec 6-speed in it too. It's not just an auto flooring it down the road, makes a big burnout, breaks the car. So instead of calling his loss, he just does another pull again, just to be like, whatever, it's already broken. So he does another one for him, and he goes, you know what, when you come back next year, we'll have some fun together, but it was nice to meet you. So this is just in the back of my mind for a year. Fast forward to SEMA 2025. I go to the Las Vegas Concours, which is the polar opposite of going to the Donk community. It's very bougie, very high class. The Win put me in a very nice room for 3 days, and first world problem, but it's just the complete polar opposite. So I go there in the morning, and then when I wrap that up during the day, I go straight to the other part of Las Vegas with my friend Mikey. And TJ's super stoked to see me again. He goes, you came at the perfect time. We have a guy called Team Silent Killer. He's got his true Donk, and then he explains to me that there's different versions of big wheeled cars. Donks are a certain type of year and type of car. It's the only ones. I think a lot of people, when they see a big wheeled car, they go, oh, that's a Donk. The terminology, I was learning all about it. It's like, oh no, that's like a different subculture of the big wheel. And so I'm just eating this up, interviewing TJ. And finally, we go outside. He's like, all right, you gotta hop in. I was like, all right. And he pulls the top down, and TJ was actually part of the Lowrider Hall of Fame. So he has this huge background in lowriders and Southern California and all that good stuff. Well, then he got the bite for horsepower. And so he got, big twin turbo LS cars and stuff like that. And eventually moved on to big wheeled fast twin turbo LS cars. And he goes, I have some of the craziest, street racer friends and all this stuff with these things. And so they showed up to the shop. Silent Killer shows up, calm as a cucumber, like deep baritone voice. He's like, hey man, you got to get in the back of this thing. I go, sounds good. He puts his electric top down. It's all done up. They did this electric top on it. And I strap in and got a power glide transmission in it. So he just hits the trans brake and lets it rip. And it's probably the craziest burnout I've ever experienced because, frankly, it's actually the weirdest acceleration I've ever experienced because you're spinning, but you're just pushing forward the whole time. The way I explained it on video is to my more tuner audience. It's like if you took a fast front wheel drive Civic that was winning spinning, but put it in the back. So you're just rolling all the way down the street with this cumulus cloud behind you, but you're still going stupid fast. And we did 3 or 4 more burnouts, 3 or 4 more pulls. It was a crazy, crazy time. And during this experience, I was like, okay, I definitely want to see more of this. I definitely want to see different cars. So more showed up. Some were not as fast as, of course, Silent Killers, but their interiors were crazy and their paint jobs were crazy. And the lowriders that TJ built were just these pristine pieces of art in this dusty shop, in the part of Las Vegas. So if you would see it from the outside, you'd be like, I don't have any idea what's going on in there. But you go in there and you're like, wow. Like, The talent that TJ has and his crew has is just top notch. A lot of this lost art in car culture of, the pinstriping and these paint jobs that take forever to do, right? Nowadays, people just wrap their car just to get it out of the way. They like, I want my car to be this color, so I'm just gonna wrap it and be done with it, which is an efficient option. But when you see these things in person with the pearls and the flake and all that kind of stuff, and you can just sense the craftsmanship in these things. So going into all this, I went in going, big wheel cars, like whatever. I never really understood it. I was like, why would you do that? You're never gonna get traction. You're never gonna do this. And then the more and more I learned about it, I started to kind of get it. I was like, so why do you do this? And be like, I don't know, I just like it. I'm like, oh, well, okay, that solves that issue. Going forward, just the passion they had in doing this. I mean, they're spending tons of money. I mean, the wheels are expensive, the interiors are expensive, paint jobs are expensive, but TJ loves to take cars that are like from the grave. It's not one of these things where he's buying a beater off Craigslist or Facebook and it runs and drives. He gets them as bare shells with primer on them, and there's nothing left. There's no interior, there's no carpet, nothing. And then, 6 months, a year later, it's this beautiful, pristine thing. So I think over the years, as I saw Donks driving down the road or big wheel cars going down the road, I didn't understand it. But by going to this, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get it, because I think since I'm more of a performance person, I just assumed they were doing it all aesthetically. And come to find out, there's like an entire racing series with Donks and big wheel cars, right? That just brought a whole new perspective to it. In fact, it almost made me more impressed, because they're doing eighth and quarter miles spinning basically the whole time and holding on to it with one hand, just like swagging it all the way down the strip. I'm just like, okay, that's just cool. That's just really, really neat. Fly home. I have this footage. I think it's really neat, but I just really didn't know if like my audience was going to resonate with it. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm just going to edit it. And during the edit, I'm like, this is actually a really fun video. It's really laid back. The people are great. Everybody's a character. We're all just having fun. And I'm learning. And I put it up thinking it's going to completely bomb, right? Because it's nothing like I've ever filmed before. It did great. And the most common comment was, we want you to go more to these subcultures, to do these mini docs on them again. So I basically looked at my schedule all year long, and I'm like, well, time to start digging into more subcultures, because I had a really wonderful time. I met some amazing people, and I learned about a culture I was completely foreign to, and they invited me back, right? It was one of those things saying, hey, we don't know you, but come on in, see how you do, and then did it, had a great time, and now every time I go to Vegas, I make sure I see TJ and the Donks, and it's been an amazing time every time I've seen them. And it was so funny when TJ was doing his interview, he was so passionate about it. He was saying, no, this is not a donk, this is a donk. Like, don't call this one a donk, this is one. And I was like, okay, I understand the assignment now. Like, all right. But it was just an amazing experience. I don't know the exact dimensions. Everybody uses different dimensions, but the ones I saw were like rubber band tires on there. But I learned that sometimes they will take cheap tires and basically re-compound them to make like their own drag slicks, essentially. And they're done in these like very DIY ways. And I was just fascinated by that too. So like you would walk in somewhere and just see them making these cheap tires work, because they know they're going to destroy them, right? It's just like, hey, we'll see how long it lasts, but they'll stick eventually. The most fascinating part about it is how much fab work goes into it. They're cutting, they're doing all these things to make these things clear, right? So in order to clear, they're not rubbing at all, like at all. With the way that TJ does it, it's like you drive down the street, they're not bottoming out, they're not doing anything like that. It's so funny, we see kids today slam coilovers down in their beater car and they can't get over anything, yet they do all this work just to have big wheels on the car that was never meant to have big wheels on it. And I think that's what I really started to respect it the most, when I saw how much work goes into it. And it's an art in a way, and it's an art I didn't understand. But then when I saw that, still nuts and bolts, still got to do some cutting, Still got to do that stuff. And he showed me just some of the things and I was just blown away by it. But the motor setup on these things is astronomical. I mean, when they have the hood up, you're like, wow, I did not see that coming. You're expecting like maybe an old small block or something like that that's cheap. Now there's big money in the motor and in the transmissions and all that because they can just lay on it the whole time going down the street. And then TJ's, of course, you know, he's shifting gears while spinning all the way down the street. So it was just really neat to see and a really amazing experience.
If you get a ticket, the first thing you should do is text a picture of it to 305-305. That will get the ticket clinic on your case immediately. You'll be facing costly fines, risks of suspension, possible jail time, points on your license, higher insurance premiums, and a lot of bad things that they can help you to avoid. You can also find them at the link in the description below, but the Ticket Clinic is a nationwide law firm with brick and mortar offices in Georgia, Florida, and California, but they've got attorneys everywhere, and that's what's most important because a local attorney will know exactly how the local laws work, know the people who are in charge, and get you the best outcome possible. So text a picture of your ticket to 305-305 or click the link in the description below to fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.